before you leave, go into your calendars and make the next plan.
Like the dentist. Don't leave the dentist until your next cleaning's booked. I was a photo starter. I was ready.
How's your week? How's it going?
Things are good. Things are good. I had a busy week. I worked 6 days
You worked
this
6
week.
days. You said
Yes.
second week in a row.
I did. Not a lot of days off, but that's fine. That's all good. Such is life.
Money.
Yes.
Money.
Yeah. So definitely my week was mostly dedicated to work. There was not much else that I did, to be perfectly honest.
I think you did a reel.
I did one.
And you did a post.
Yeah, I did 2 posts this week.
Oh my God,
so-
Paige Paige was messaging me. I forget what night it was.
Wait, I
And
don't
she
even
was
know what you're about to say.
You were sending me the posts for like future episodes, and I'm like, this is fine. Doesn't look like anything you've done before. This isn't your best work, honestly. And I'm like, Paige, there's a huge white spot. It doesn't go with the rest. I'm like, and I'm trying to be so nice about it because I don't want to be like, wow, you fucking suck. I'm taking over social media. And you were texting, you're like, I'm really high, by the way. I was like, oh, okay. At least you weren't like, I'm posting it now. You're like, I'm going to post it later. I'm like, I fucking hope so. But it sounded like you had a week that you needed to be high and work on.
That was Wednesday, and I was not feeling good on Wednesday.
Aww.
Like I had a headache Tuesday that followed into Wednesday that then brought on like nausea. I puked at work. But no. I was like, I'm not gonna go up to my manager and be like, I have to go home. I threw up. I'm like, that's so embarrassing. So I puked and I felt better, and I kept trucking on.
God, puking is so. Oh my God, puking's really embarrassing. I don't want to fucking go up to someone, tell them I puked so I can go home.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt like a toddler, or it feels like you're lying and making it up. I don't know. It was.
It's literally you and the vet who loves you.
No, this is at my other clinic.
Oh,
yes.
Who cares?
I don't know. I also, exciting. I have put in my 2 weeks at my part-time job. So that is a big step. I've been there for like 5-6 years now. So I'm officially kind of closing that chapter, which I am excited about. I think it's time. I think it's not really fitting with where my life is going right now. I have so much else on the go that I want to focus on. So it was my second last shift there. So also that I'm not going to come up at 10 a.m. being like, my tummy hurts, I'm going to go home. So I just trucked through the day and it was fine. And then I got home, and Ty was working really early days this week as well. So when I got home, he was already sleeping. And I was like, yeah, we're going to take a nap at 5 p.m. So we napped for a couple of hours. And then I got up and I was like, oh, I have to get stuff ready for socials. And then I was like, maybe this joint will make me creative. And it did the opposite. It did. I don't know. I looked at it the next morning. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I
love that we're like kind of matching in a way today. Like we
Yeah.
both did like the showing
we
bralettes.
did.
Yeah, I
Look
love
at
that.
us. Look
Your
at
shirt's
us.
cuter than mine though. I like your shirt.
I love your shirt, but I have a funny story with the shirt. So it's like without the bralette, it's a little lower. And I know I'm not like gifted, but when I don't have the bralette on, like there is some cleavage. And I think we were going to a family function a little while ago, like Andrew's family. And I go, hey babe, is this like too revealing? Like, is this too much cleavage? And he looks at me and audibly goes, ha! And really genuine. And then laughed. And I'm like, oh!
Your man can be so humbling.
I was just
Something we've learned about Andrew already in the first 5 minutes. He's gonna be honest. He's gonna humble you. Absolutely no issues doing that. Oh my god, that's funny.
He's the best, but he just like looks at me and like I can see he looked at my chest. He goes, I'm like,
okay, great.
That wasn't necessary.
That answered that. Thank you so much.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
So I was getting dressed, obviously, before we were getting ready to record. Mm-hmm. These pants were in my drawer, and I was like, well, these are obviously my pants. So I put the pants on. I'm still like, these are for sure my pants. Then I put my hands in the front pockets, and they're massive pockets. And that was my indication that these are my husband's pants. Nothing before that gave me an indication that these might not be my pants.
It's so true. We have no pockets.
Yeah.
You're like, this is too much pocket.
I feel unstoppable. I can fit my whole phone in my front pocket. I'm like, I can do so much. Oh my god. Goodness.
No wonder they don't need bags.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Real pockets.
4 real pockets.
Well, those pants look great on you.
Thank you. I know. I went out. I'm like, Ty, do you like those pants? And he's like, they look fine. They look good. I'm like, they're your pants. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, cool. So, now my husband and I share pants, I guess. That's a wrap on our outfits for today.
Well, today we're talking about friendships, specifically navigating how to maintain them while being in different life stages.
All right, let's grow into it.
I wanted to talk about this topic because I think it's the most relevant in our lives right now. And I think a lot of people in our position or around our age is probably going through the same thing. Honestly, possibly without noticing. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I only really took notice a couple of years ago. And I forget what it was. I think I was 1 or 2 years into living with Andrew, and I was just like noticing that I was feeling like he was seeing his friends more than I was seeing mine. No, you know what? It was when one of my friends broke up with their boyfriend, and I noticed that like she shifted a little bit closer to another friend, but she was also single, and I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm not single. And then I really took stock and I actually haven't seen a lot of my friends for like a month or two. Mm-hmm. And when I do see them, it's not that long.
Okay. Yeah. So it feels like different than it used to feel. Like it's not that same hangout that you felt like you used to have.
Yeah. And then I really looked inward and I'm like, you know what? I've been canceling or I've been just rescheduling or not giving them enough time, I think.
How does this line up with COVID? Because like when I'm thinking back about like, okay, when did I notice those transitional periods? I know a huge period for that was COVID, just because obviously things were wild. Feels like a fever dream at this point, honestly. But there was like so much figuring out like who is comfortable seeing who, when can we see whoever. And then also during COVID is when Ty and I bought our house.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to ask when you moved in with Ty. Because for me, COVID was opposite. I haven't been living with Andrew yet. I was still living with my friends. So
you could see your friends.
Oh,
you were in the same household.
We were drinking. We were partying.
Oh my God,
we were having a good time in COVID. And I had to have like Zoom dates with Andrew.
Right.
So I wasn't feeling like that.
And then I was the opposite. Ty and I were living together. We were like renting a basement apartment at the time. And then in 2021, we had bought our house. So we were living together through the entirety of COVID. And then we bought our house and renovated it, which was super consuming.
Good for you for living with him during COVID, like peak COVID. That is... I just like applaud you. Good job.
Like our relationship has had so many wild rides. Like the first 2.5 years of our relationship was long distance. We were living 6 hours apart. And then literally I moved home and it was like maybe 4-5 months and then COVID hit. So it was just like, it was wild. I was living with my parents and then we moved in together and then it was COVID and it was like, Okay, this is really interesting. But we were also both working.
You guys both
So-
were. What do they call it?
Essential workers.
Yeah,
Yes,
you both
we were
were
both essential.
Yeah, we
Ty had
also
like
were.
2 weeks closed where his job site was shut down because
Okay.
everyone was trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And then I was that like kind of part-time where I was working like 2 to 3 days each week. Yeah. Wild ride. So I think it did help that neither of us were like home full time.
Yeah, like on top of each other, especially with you didn't have the house yet. It was an apartment.
Exactly. Ooh. Yeah. So we weren't like at that point, I know I was obviously not seeing a lot of people. And for me, it was the opposite to you. It was Zoom dates with my friends. Right. So that was very different. And then, we got the house, we renovated. And that was as like COVID was kind of like subsiding and everyone was like reintroducing life. So, that's when I noticed at first. I was like, oh, I haven't seen people. But it was also because we were so busy doing so much stuff. Right.
I think, especially now, we have friends that we're in the middle of, I think, both of our friend groups where when we got married, like you had a couple of friends get married before you. And then I had a couple of friends in Andrew's friend group get married. And then all my friends are getting married. Well, most of my friends are getting married around now. But we all have partners. And then some of our friends are having babies.
Yep.
And so we're in that age where everyone's in a different life stage.
Huge transitional
Some
stage
singles
for
still, but I think primarily we're all like really comfortable with our partner in our home. And we're not used to reaching out to friends to hang out.
Because it used to be easier when you lived with them or lived down the hall from them or lived really close to them. Really close. So much easier.
Really close either if you lived alone or if you lived at your parents' house or if you lived with them. Yeah, it's so much easier. But like when you don't have a serious partner, it is easier. Like your friends are your primary source of socialization other than work. And then once, like twice, 3 times a week, you see a partner if you have it.
Yeah. Also, another huge transitional stage is having friends that were single or very casually dating when you met them, and now they found their partner and seeing kind of how that friendship changes too, right? Because they're not going to be free every weekend. They're not going to be ready to kind of do whatever, whenever. They're now also like starting life and settling down with their partner too. So that's a really interesting cycle to watch as well with some of my friends.
Yeah. So this is an interesting topic because I think we kind of have to rewire our brains to date our friends instead of dating a partner.
Love that saying. Ellen said that saying to me before, and I'm like, wow, that's exactly like it's just the perfect way to describe it. Yeah, 100%. You have to date your friends at this point.
It's so much more effort than you're used to putting in with a friend.
It's little things.
Parallel.
It's literally being like, I bought you this snack because I thought of you and I know you really love it. Like it's love languages with your friends.
Checking in. Hey, I know you've had a tough week. Like, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
I know I had a bad week a couple weeks ago and you literally sent me a Starbucks gift card on a Monday and was like, get your week started right. And that was like the sweetest thing, right? And that's something that makes you feel so good and just keeps that bond and that friendship close, right?
I made a New Year's resolution a few years ago when I noticed this starting that I was consciously not going to cancel or reschedule if I absolutely didn't have to because you don't know what your friend is going through. You're not checking in on them every single day. They could really be looking forward to this and not have vocalized it, not feeling like they needed to vocalize it because they knew they were going to see you. So they were going to tell you what's been going on. And instead, if you cancel, they're like, well, and then they just to like feel like your friend doesn't want to see you or something else came up or just like, oh, I'm just tired. Like I had a tough week. Like, can we reschedule? And they're like, I've been at the pit of despair. I really needed to see you. But they won't say it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
They're not going to say it. Like most people aren't going to.
But it's a balance too, right? Like, of course you have to give friends grace where, maybe they just, they woke up that day and they're like, it's not it. I have a migraine or I'm feeling really down or I have more things to do than I thought. Like that does happen. But I think also if it's consistently canceling, consistently bailing, and like not making that effort to reschedule or to do something different too. then that starts to weigh on you, and that starts to be like, okay, this isn't feeling good. This isn't feeling like a consistent friendship that I'm wanting from this person.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of sucks. So yeah, just a transition of I'm with a partner, so I need to make more effort now to see my friends.
And also show up when you're with those friends.
Oh my
too.
God, yes.
Like effort to actually go do the plan you had, but also be present when you're there. Not be on your phone scrolling, not talking to someone else on the phone when you're there, or not just like overall not being
just
present.
like waiting for it to be over.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like that, but like I'm sure no one's like that. But yeah, not rushing.
Yep.
The rush is
Listen, make effort, like say you want to do something and then do it.
And there are different ways different friends show up. We have a mutual friend that she's long distance, and so I know she is a little bit more flaky, but she's also the best hype woman out of everybody, everyone I know. Like I try to be a hype woman like that.
Yep.
So
the way she supports like her friends, her family, everyone is beautiful. Like she shows up, and she is also the definition of like being present when you're there. Like yes, you're not texting her every week, you're not seeing her every week, but when you go out for dinner, you go out for drinks with her, she's like, "How was your life? Tell me everything." She's attentive, she's listening, she's excited,
and she's
for
so
you.
animated. Like she is so into she's more into my stories than I am. She's awesome, but I know she's flaky, so if she's gonna, she'll flake, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like I half expect it.
And it's also, you understand that from your friendship with her, right? That can be a different type of friendship than you have with a different person. And as long as you both know that and you have that understanding and boundary, then that is a healthy friendship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And then you have friends that I think aren't at that stage of realizing that they have to put in the effort.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. That's hard. And it's, again, you have to make conscious decisions. You can't want everything all the time from everybody. That's just not fair, because I don't give everything all the time to everybody. I try to be present. I try to be attentive, but sometimes I'm just not going to show up the way, or I'm just going to make a mistake. And like, there are definitely some things with friendships that I'm like, I should have been there more at that stage.
Yeah.
And
looking back, reflecting, and you're like, oh, I could have been
I definitely could have been
there.
better. But thank God they didn't dump me as a friend. Thank God they were like, Ellen's my very good friend, and although this hurt, I know she's like my ride or die.
Yep.
So it's also just figuring out, okay, this friend still serves me in this way. Like now, if they're not as present, they'll get there.
Yep, exactly.
And
there. I think too, communication is such a huge thing within friends too. And I think it kind of gets put on like the back burner a lot. Like I feel like communication within relationships with your partner is always like, you need to communicate, you need to be clear. All of that is so important. But I feel like that gets set aside for friends and it doesn't seem as important. But I'm like, you need to speak up. Like if you feel like, hey, I'm being excluded, or hey, I feel like I'm putting in all this effort reaching out to you and you're not giving that back to me. You have to say something. You have to speak up, because sometimes those people don't know, right? There's been a lot of times where someone has pointed something out to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I am so sorry. Let's figure this out. Let's be better from here on out.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to also speak up and set your own boundaries, and you hope that friend is also going to do the same thing.
Boundaries and expectations. But that's such a good point.
Because it feels weird. Like it feels uncomfortable. You don't want to be like, hey, like you hurt my feelings when you said that. Or hey, I heard you two hung out. You didn't invite me. Like that feels embarrassing to say. It's easy to be like, are they doing this intentionally? Are they excluding me for a reason? But also, maybe they didn't invite you because it's a hockey game and you don't like hockey, and you've said time and time again, I don't like it. Hockey. I don't like watching it.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got invited before 6 times and you haven't gone each time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're like, oh, she's obviously not going to want to come. She hates hockey. I'm not.
Or they know your schedule and they're like, she's not going to be able to make it.
Yes.
But from someone that's had that happen, where it probably was going to be a no, but I would have liked to make that decision
Yep.
myself.
And that's a really, really big thing for me. And I think I'm trying to now communicate that to all of my friends that like, yeah, maybe I don't want to go. And you might just be like, there's no ill intent behind you not inviting me, but like, I want to have the option. I want to decide if I want to go or not. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just even getting the text and the invite means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, if you could still ask me, because then they like, if I would bring it up, they'd be like, oh my God, I don't think about it. And it's like, nothing is mean. Nothing is typically ill-intended.
I think if it is, I think we can all make the right decision and just be like, oh, okay, you're a bitch. We're done here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So.
Like, cool, you're being a mean girl.
We don't do that anymore.
We don't do that anymore.
We're adults. We're not mean girls. We're hype women. We're women supporting women. And I think like you get to that stage in your life too, where you're like, I'm going to surround myself with the people that have the same goals, the same mindset as me, and move forward with those people. And then you also learn, okay, these are the people that aren't fitting into that category. Maybe it's time to break up with them.
Setting boundaries. We touched on this a little bit last week, and I think boundaries. So some people had said that they think friendships should have boundaries, and some people said that they didn't think friendships should have boundaries, or at least comparatively to relationship, like partnered relationships. I think if you need to set boundaries, you need to set boundaries.
I think when you start to do something with your friends that is considered like a side hustle or a creative outlet, I think then you have to set boundaries.
Yeah, like excess time. Like I see you every week. I don't see all my friends every week.
Yep, exactly. And I think one thing that would be important is maybe like boundaries within your friendships with your partners, because I feel like sometimes that can get weird where you want to make sure everyone is comfortable in the situation with how friendships are with each other's partners. And I think that's something that I've never had to do with you. I don't think I know. But I know there's situations where people like leave a setting and they're like, I feel weird about how
that happened.
Female friend was talking to my husband. Like I didn't like that.
I've had that
right?
situation
So I think
too.
that's something that you have to watch really closely. Like I think we both have a lot of people in our lives where we have really good friendships and relationships with them and their partners. So also just
that's
overall, I think we both surround ourselves with like really good people. Like I've met some of your friends and you've met some of my friends, and we all get along really well and really naturally.
I love your friends
because they're all very good people. Like your batch was so much fun.
So was yours.
Yeah,
we had a good time. That was awesome. I was so glad you.
Yeah, so I feel like this is kind of a hard topic for us because I feel like naturally we've been very lucky with boundaries. We don't really have to set them. Like everything just kind of works out.
Everything just works out nicely.
I know this podcast is about growing into it and figuring it out, but this is one thing we oddly enough haven't really struggled
just
with.
the boundary part. The rest of the topic we have struggled with.
100%.
Okay, so friendship breakups and makeups. I've had a couple of these like in younger years, like mid 20s, or early 20s when I was in my other relationships. I had a couple friends that did not like me in that relationship. And honestly, I was not my best self in that relationship either. I was still in that phase of like canceling and rescheduling like last minute because I wanted to spend time with my boyfriend. I was just rude. And like they said like I can't. I also complained about him all the time. It was a lot of like whiplash of okay, you're like obsessed with him 1 minute and then you're ranting about
and you're canceling plans with me in order to hang out with this man who
you're gonna
rant about
all the time.
Like this isn't making sense. And then it makes your friends not feel valued because you're canceling on them to hang out with a trash man.
So I just sucked for a little bit. So
we all have.
So I don't blame them. And like luckily I've made up both of those friendships.
And the thing is also you've accepted that you weren't a good friend in that stage and you're not proud of who you were as a person, and you've taken that and you've learned from it, right? So we've all had our shitty stages. As long as you take accountability and grow from it, then you know what? We move forward, we move on.
I think people more so in the early 20s
absolutely
go through this. However, you just had one, so
I did. I also have had a decent amount of friendship breakups. I think, again, too, I was not my best version of myself at all in my early 20s. I really don't think anyone is. Like, no one is their best self at 20. So same thing. I was not a great friend. I was going to say I'm not a great partner, but I was dating Ty at the time. So that's not true. I was a good partner. We're going to cut that.
No, both things can be true, though. Like,
yeah.
You could have not been the best partner, and he could have not been the best partner, but you both luckily grew through that and grew together to be better partners.
And we weren't dating until the end of my first year in college too. So that whole first year, I was technically single, right? Yeah. So I think I also just didn't have the best taste in friends. I didn't have really huge parameters for like who I wanted to be my friend at the time. It was more so like, this person has a really good time. We have a lot of fun.
Your priorities are different.
100%. Yeah. So I think I had to unfortunately have a lot of friendship breakups. I'm not friends with any of those girls that I had become friends with in college. It was one by one. We had friendship breakups. And this last one was unfortunately the worst one because it was during my wedding. So it was really tough. We had been friends for 8 years. And we were really close in those first couple of years. I loved her. We had so much fun together. And then, life kind of started. I, got more serious with Ty. We got our house. And then I went through some pretty heavy stuff as well. After COVID, I unfortunately lost my mom, which was like a huge thing to go through. And then, of course, I was not a present friend at that time. I didn't have the capability
to show up for people. That shouldn't have been an expectation either. When your mom passed, of course, I was like, I'm here for you, but you also have family and you have closer friends. And
I had to show up for my family. Like we went through a lot. It was really sudden. So there was that expectation of like, family is my priority right now. We need to get through this together. And friends absolutely got put on the back burner. Yeah. And then people like you understood that and accepted that. There was kind of that stage where I wasn't seeing any people, and then I reintroduced friends back into my life. And then I got engaged, and you have to pick your wedding party. And this friend, I was like, we haven't been overly close in the past couple of years, but the goal was to rekindle the friendship. Yeah. And I thought, asking her to be a part of this, we're going to get really close again. We're going to find that friendship that we had, and we did not. It was the opposite, and she didn't show up in the ways I wanted. And I think, unfortunately, our friendship was just not the same as it used to be. We were two very different people. We were in very, very different stages of our lives. And I had to say goodbye. And luckily, I did this before the wedding. And I stood up for myself, and I spoke up, and I said what made me upset. The conversation was not successful on either end. We couldn't come to a mutual understanding. And we haven't talked since. And to be honest, I look back on it now and I'm still happy with that. I think we just weren't the same person anymore. We had very different values, very different goals, and she's not someone I wanted to move forward with. So it was a really heavy, sad friendship breakup, but
they're so sad. Like they're equally as sad as maybe more in certain situations as romantic breakups.
It's a huge part of my life. She was a huge rock through college, and even afterwards. So it's not easy to let it go, but sometimes you have to realize this isn't serving me anymore. This isn't who I am as a person. And you have to say goodbye. But hopefully, I feel like now I'm at the stage where I look at the friends that I have, and I'm very happy with them. I feel like they're very supportive, positive women. They have really great partners too, and I'm happy with that core group that I have now. Yeah. So hopefully, no more friendship breakups.
Yeah, hopefully. I feel the same way.
I think I'm done.
You can also have a friend that you see twice a year.
True.
Like, that is totally fine. We also have another friend that's long distance, and they just started their new life, and it's hard because they live pretty close to me. I was so used to seeing her pretty often. And now she lives pretty far, and unfortunately we just haven't made plans yet, but she's like trying to figure out her life where she is. And if I see her twice a year, I'm pretty happy.
And again, it's that mutual understanding. Yeah. If you both know, okay, we're doing our thing right now, we're going to figure this out. Maybe we're going to only see each other 2 or 3 times a year, and you're both happy with that, then that's a healthy friendship. That's fine.
Again, communication. Yep. But the breakups struggles with friendships actually goes into one of the things our audience was struggling with, which was friendship poaching. I think this is more a younger thing. And I think this is another thing that if it's happening in your late 20s and early 30s, these are not the people you want to keep.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like you should be able, like you said, we've met each other's friends. I love your friends.
And I love your friends.
And I should be able, like, yeah, we hang out all together, but if you can't make one time, I should be able to hang out with them.
Also, two sides to it though as well. Like some people really like big gatherings where there's people they maybe don't know as well to get to know each other. I know I actually do enjoy that, but I also enjoy when I'm just seeing you or when I'm just seeing my other friend and it's that one-on-one. So I think you also have to figure out, does this friend want to be at a party with 5 other people that she doesn't really know that well? So I think that's something that you have to figure out what they want from a hangout each time that you're hanging out, right? And I think also it's so funny because the girl I had a friendship breakup with, I met one of my closest friends through her right now. So it was, she had introduced the two of us and we were just like, oh my God, we're so much more similar. We got along so well. And for a while we would hang out all of us together, and then it did quickly become, okay, we're just gonna hang out the two of us, and now we have a really strong friendship. So sometimes, unfortunately, like friendship poaching happens, but like you just have to.
Well, they also broke up with that friend before you and her broke up. Like, a lot of drama in that situation.
Yeah, but I've moved past that.
No more of that. And now that friend is one of the friends that like. I love her. I drove her home from your bachelorette and we vibed so hard. That was the most fun drive with a stranger I've ever
and it's
had.
so funny because I don't like have any degree of jealousy from that.
Yeah.
Like some people may be like, oh, I don't want you to like my friend that way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're having fun without me. But for me, it like makes me so happy to know that my friends from different walks of life have come together and have really enjoyed being around each other. I think that's a huge win.
And it just makes more nights like games night or just casual hangouts, but with 6 friends instead of a huge party. But it's a lot more fluid of who you can see and who you can invite when you have a free night instead of being like, oh, I haven't seen this friend in a bit, but I have to choose between these 2 friends. Like you can just invite everybody over.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, maybe plan a coffee date with just one of them so you can have a one-on-one talk and you can catch up in a personal way that you want to do with that person. And then next time have a big party, right? Again, it's like friends are so much about balance. It's about figuring out how you want to spend your time with them and making sure they're feeling valued in the time you spend with them. So just have that conversation. Be like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a games night with all the girls or do you want to go out for drinks just the 2 of us? Like it's that simple, right? Yeah. And I say that as someone who doesn't always do that. Like I'm saying this being like I should make an effort to do that more so because we're all still figuring it out and finding the best way to show up as a good friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, that just circles back to dating your friend. When you start dating a partner, you're trying to figure out, okay, how do you want to spend time? Quality time together. One of the love languages, quality time. You need that with your friends. You need to figure out, oh, okay, like, well, we've only hung out in large groups lately, and they might be feeling like, oh, they don't want to hang out with me one-on-one. So again, it's communication and just paying attention to how your friend's doing. And
because you also don't want to feel like a number. You don't only want to get invited when it's a big party where everyone's getting together. You want to have that personal relationship with your friend as well. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. But that's how I feel. Where I want to have that close personal relationship with my friends as well. So you have to find out how to do that best with that person. Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add on to anything that we can think of?
No, I think just accepting that friendship breakups happen. They also unfortunately tend to be really messy a lot of the time. Like it can be, screaming and arguing and rapid fire texting. But also you can just like let it go. You can slowly kind of fall out of touch with a friendship and that's okay too. But I think either way, just accept it and just, if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. And if you regret that friendship breakup later on, 6 months, a year down the line, then reach out and try and fix that.
How do you feel about when a friend has a partner you don't like? I've had that situation where I was dating somebody that no one liked. And well, at least no one liked for me. That can be really
It's not like
difficult.
they're an absolutely horrible person who's committing crimes.
That's usually
but they're not.
that's
your
usually
person,
not
and
the
they can tell
case.
that.
Yeah, that is usually not the case. But again, I think it's something that changes between when you're in your early 20s and your friends feel that they have more say, and you're starting to be like, well, I don't actually want to listen to you right now. But when you're in your late 20s and early 30s, you might just have to say your concerns or not. I now, instead of blatantly saying things that I might regret, I just have to wait for them to come to me, or I'll just check in and just be like, oh, how are you and whoever?
Some good open-ended questions
Some good
that open up the
yes,
conversation.
yes.
Because you don't want to come in too hot. I think it's a really challenging thing to navigate because you don't want to speak up and be like, I hate your boyfriend, and then you lose that friend. You don't want that.
And you want them to be able to still feel comfortable coming to you.
Yes.
Maybe not at that time, but if something does happen or they're starting to have some feelings, they need to feel comfortable coming to somebody. And if you want that to be you, you can't just be too much sometime. Just
I feel like
out.
I lean more into the softer approach. And obviously I would go on a harder approach if I felt like they were being verbally or physically abused. If it gets to the point where I'm concerned for their well-being, I'm going to come in a lot hotter.
Oh, yeah, as you should.
But if it's just a general like, I don't love this guy for you. I think you're a better person without him. It's the soft approach. It's like, how are you doing? Like, how is your relationship?
How's it going?
Or if they like complain about their partner, I'm like, so how do you feel about that? Or I'm like, so this is the 5th negative thing you've said about him. Like, do you have any positives? Just trying to steer the conversation in a way that leaves it open. And then if it's not going anywhere, I'm not going to keep pushing because I don't want to lose that person. Right. And at the end of the day, like you said, this is late 20s, early 30s. They're adults.
Sorry, going back to boundaries for a second. When you don't like your friend's partner, telling them, I can't hear you complain about your partner anymore, might save your friendship.
And I think I think that's valid.
Yeah.
I think if you have gotten to the point where it's like you're saying the same things over and over again, I don't support
And
this
you're
relationship.
not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And I've tried my hardest to support you or to give you solutions. And I can see you're hurting, but it's been a vicious cycle. Then it's like, I don't know how to be here for you anymore.
Yep.
In this situation, I want to be here for you, but for my mental health of my heart hurts when you're hurt, and I can't sit here and hear this and not be able to say what I want to say because I know you're just gonna do this again, or
You're gonna make an
in 2
excuse
seconds.
or like backpedal or whatever. Yeah.
Setting those boundaries, I think, are good. And then if they are just like, well, I want to complain about my boyfriend to you, what the hell, then that might be a different conversation. But trying to set that is...
You have to save your own emotional capacity, right? Like sometimes you can only take so much. So I think speaking up and being able to say that to your friends is a very important thing, right? And if you don't feel comfortable saying that to your friend, if you're worried about how they're going to respond, then again, you clearly need to have another deeper conversation about
something else is going on. I think we all have really high expectations for our friends too.
Yeah.
And people who we think deserve our friends, and we usually have stronger feelings about that than what we deserve.
Yep.
So,
I was just going to say that. I'm like, it's the fact of like, we're so protective over our friends, and we're like, you deserve the best possible person in the world, the best partner who's going to love you in the way that I want you to be loved. So it's really
sometimes
easy
it's like,
to get defensive.
in the way I love you.
Yeah.
You need to find a male version of me.
So I don't know if you realize this, but I'm a better partner than your boyfriend. So
Yep. So,
but also that's like a good way you can show up as a friend too, is like showing them how much they can be loved, right? And supported.
Aww.
And hopefully then that makes them look for that in a partner as well, right? That's the biggest goal,
I think that was great.
Yeah.
Okay. We had some audience questions.
Hell yeah, we did. We got a lot of, I feel like I've said hell yeah a lot this episode. So
we're very enthusiastic. Yeah, because I think this topic is very relatable. And I think a lot of people didn't realize how relatable it was until the questions were asked.
Yep, absolutely. And so many people are really excited for this episode just because so many people are like, this resonates with me so hard. Like everyone is in that transitional stage with friends. So it's very relatable for sure.
Yeah. So we asked, what is a struggle you've had when it comes to maintaining friendships? Distance, good friends will prioritize time. Yep. Distance is a struggle.
Everyone's moving. I have so many friends that live in like the Stratford area, Tavistock, and Ty and I are like, oh my goodness, I just wish you lived a little bit closer. It's not even that far, but it's enough distance that it's like, well, I want to have some drinks, but I'm not going to pay for an Uber from Stratford, right? No. The distance can make forming plans harder.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, well, are you going to come here? Am I going to come there? Are we going to stay over? Are we not? I think we're also getting that stage too where everyone loves sleeping in their own bed.
I don't blame them. I do too.
So anything more than like a 20 to 30 minute Uber, you don't really want to pay for. So it's just about figuring out what works for everyone and what makes everyone feel involved.
I also think that distance makes being able to cancel and reschedule a lot easier.
And also you have to figure out what's going to be worth it for the distance for your friends. Like I know I have one friend who she doesn't really drink. So she's not going to want to drive from Stratford or New Hamburg or wherever to come and go out to the bar. But we love to hike. We love to take our dogs out. We love to go get sushi. So it's about figuring out, okay, we both want to do this and we're both going to enjoy this. And that's going to be worth the drive, right?
Managing schedules. Working non-traditional schedules where most people work Monday to Friday. And then we also had adulthood getting in the way of everything rain check until we die. Again, rain check, cancel, rain check. I have a group of 4 friends, including like myself for a group of 4. And it is so hard we're all in different stages. One's pregnant. Two of them are engaged. I'm married. One is in a relationship, but they don't live with their partner.
And then one of them like works weekends typically, whereas you don't. And it's like it's hard to find a time that works for everyone. We're all in different
cities too. I think the best thing with that is when you're currently with them, before you leave, go into your calendars and make the next plan.
Like the dentist. Don't leave the dentist until your next cleaning's booked.
We could all learn a lot from the dentist office.
Be like the dental office. If there's one thing you take away from this episode,
it's date your friends and be like the dentist office. Time and distance, time and energy management, balance with work and romantic relationships. I think we've touched on that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Can be hard to relate. We're in vastly different parts of our lives.
We actually haven't touched on that too much, to be honest. I feel like we briefly touched on it, but that is something important to be aware of too. Like for us, we're both not having kids, but a lot of our friends are getting pregnant right now. But that doesn't mean we don't want to be involved. That doesn't mean I'm not excited. It's a very, very exciting part of their lives that we still want to be a part of. But then you're also going to understand that they're not going to show up as much when they are literally raising a newborn.
I think we have to be open to showing up in different ways. My friends that have been expecting, when they get close to their due date, Andrew and I make them a lasagna and give it to them because we still want to be there for them. We still invite them. Invite your parent friends to things.
Yep.
Even if you think they're not going to come.
Yep.
Again,
they don't want to feel left out and isolated because they're a new parent. And they're probably going to say no a lot of the time, which is 100% valid. But I think reaching out and extending that olive branch means a lot to them.
And I want to be invited to their things. Am I going to go to every child thing? Probably not.
I'll go get drunk at their kid's birthday party.
Oh, I will definitely do that.
I'll bring them a cool ass gift because I'm the fun aunt. I'll have a couple glasses of wine and then I'll go home. Hell yeah.
But I think it's you still have to extend the invite. You still have to just communicate. Again, check in.
Yeah, and like
check-ins
you said,
are really nice.
How do you want me to show up? How do you want me to help? I know some new moms that would be like, oh my God, if you could literally just come over and fold my laundry, I would cry tears of joy. Right? Like it's just something to potentially support them and make their load easier is going to be being a good friend for them, right?
It's I think it's also like you have to also show up. I think some of these are coming from like people that are like, I feel like we're in vastly different parts of our lives and it can be hard to relate with them. But it's like, how have you tried to relate with them?
Right.
Just try.
Effort on both sides.
Effort on both sides.
What are qualities you would consider a good friend to have? These are all just like really sweet, just very genuine, like no judgment, total honesty, understanding that not communicating daily doesn't mean we aren't close, but also responsiveness when contacted, and loyal when you're not in the room, just supportive, honest again.
I think responsiveness when contacted, that can be so different for different people. I'm trying to be better about calling people. One of my friends and I give each other a call once in a while on our way home from work or like when we're out with the dogs, and we'll answer. And if I'm in the middle of something, I'll be like, I can't talk right now. Are you okay? Because sometimes you call for an emergency. And if they're like, yep, just on a walk, I'll be like, okay, I'll either call you back or I can't talk tonight. And we'll either text after that or not. We'll just wait for the next call. If your friend isn't texting you, maybe they're not good texters. I have a lot of friends.
It's me. It's me.
Was I not subtle?
I've been better.
You've been so good. At least with me. I don't know how you are with your other friends.
Yeah,
but
no,
you're like,
I
Ellen's going to
still
get mad at me if I don't say a podcast enough in a week.
I actually have 2 current unopened messages from friends from yesterday that I'm like, oh my God, I don't really want to lose.
I think I also have a problem with the notification.
Like you don't like the
signal?
notification.
Oh, I hate it.
There?
I can't do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's my biggest thing. I hate it. I hate things not being checked off in my head. That's like the type A in me.
So there was 2 answers that kind of are the opposite of each other. So one was active listening and not always needing to give an opinion. But then the other was willingness to provide a different perspective, even if you don't want to hear it. So that's a very interesting thing to see.
Those are both good points.
Super valid.
And I think when you're in that situation where you're like, there's something I want to say, but do you want to hear it? And I think communicating that is a good idea.
Ty's been really good because Ty is like a typical man of like, I'm going to give you the solution to what you're complaining about or what you're upset about. But sometimes I'm like, I just want you to listen. So now he's gotten in the habit of being like, do you just want to vent to me and have me just be a supportive listener? Or do you want me to give you active solutions? And that I appreciate it so much. And now I try to do that with my friends, being like, okay, what do you want? What do you want from me in this situation? Yeah. Sometimes I still accidentally give my opinion if like I feel strongly about it. Like I'm not gonna fully hold back if I feel I need to share something. But I think it's about asking what that friend wants and just trying to give that support in the way they want. I think we all, and I really like someone who said tighter circle and more meaningful. I think that's something I've definitely move forward with, where I just want to have a few close friends who I genuinely feel good when I leave that hangout, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Have you struggled with friends being in different life stages? What did that look like?
Kids were a big thing in this topic, and
again, it's hard because we can't give like a whole lot of insight on like how to manage when you actually have a kid,
but we can comment on the aspect of my friends have kids or are expecting kids, and this is how I showed up.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, do you want me to come over to your house? Because obviously getting a kid bundled up and ready to go can be a lot more work. Yeah. And hey, do you want me to bring dinner over? Hey, do you want me to do this? Like just trying to figure out and like actually taking the effort to learn what that person is going to want as a parent is so important.
Let's plan ahead of time so your partner can take the child or you can find care.
Yep.
If like, do you want to go out? Like, do you want non-mommy time?
Yep.
Because we have a friend that is like, I want non-mommy time.
Hell yeah.
With my girls.
And she shows up and she sends it. And then some people are like, I want to do a hang where my kid is there. Right. Yeah. So it's about, again, just like put in that effort to figure out how they want you to show up as a friend and then move forward.
And then
with
if you're really wanting to see them without their kid, then that is something that you say, hey, I'm going through this and I really would love you to hang out with me one-on-one. for a drink or dinner or coffee, I would really appreciate it if it's just you and I. So can you find a time where your cute little baby can be with somebody else so I
'Cause
can
it's a
have all your
presence
attention.
thing.
Yeah.
You want them to be attentive and present the whole time, and unfortunately that's not always doable when you have a young child. So I think it's valid. Like, friends without kids, you can say that, you can set that boundary, but again, it's about communicating, and it's about growing with each other's life stages, even if you're not in that life stage together. We're working on it too. We're figuring it out. I'm still very much learning how to be a good friend. I've taken away so much from my friendship breakups and how I see other people treat me as a friend. So, just keep evolving and keep wanting to grow. I think that's the biggest thing. Make that effort to just next day be a better person.
My New Year's resolution every year since I've made that resolution is try to be a better friend. Actively try not to cancel, reschedule. When you make a plan with a friend, you're going to go do it. And I think that's a really good place to start. Yeah. And it seems so silly. I feel like it's done me wonders. I feel like I'm a much better friend than I was a few years ago.
And it's just like, try and put in an effort to notice the small things too. Just like, oh, I noticed this friend is always the one making plans. She's always the one picking the restaurant we go to. Like, how about I plan something this time? Like, start with little things that you can achieve, and most times your friends are going to notice that and appreciate it, right?
All right, guys. I think that's it for today.
That's it. I think that's a wrap.
All right, Mabel, take us out. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Growing It Into It Pod, and follow the podcast and rate, review this episode on Spotify. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll talk to you next week.
Peace out, peaches.
Mwah!